This is how you find the area of objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the area formula above them all, just so you have them. Okay, so this first one, this is a parallelogram, if you noticed from last video. And this area is just base times height. Now, height is always the dotted line. Alright, one of the dotted lines. It's not the diagonal. It's not this thing right here, because you don't go to the doctor, you don't lean over and say measure me that way, you say measure me up and down. So what this one will be, we ignore this one and this one, we just care about the 10 and the 17. So it'll just be 10 times 17, okay, which gives me 170. Since we have units, it'll be inches, and we square it because it is area. Same thing with this one. It'll be 16 times 20, base times height, which will become 320 centimeters squared. Parallelograms are pretty easy as long as you know not to use the diagonals and only use the base. Now, since this and this are congruent, you can always say, okay, well, I know this one, I could figure out this one pretty easy if you ever given one, not the other. Now these are trapezoids. Trapezoids are a little bit harder. Their formula is 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. Because this has two bases, the bottom and the top, that aren't the same, we had to use both. So in this case, it's going to be 1/2. Remember, never use the diagonals. That's not what height is. Height is the up and down. So it'd be 1/2 the height, which is 18, times base 1, which is 30, plus base 2, which is 18. Okay? So this becomes 1/2, 18 times 48. Because remember, all you have to add parentheses due to PEMDAS before we do anything else. And then finally, if we do 1/2 18 times 48, you should end up with 432 feet squared. Same idea over here. You're going to take 20, or no, you can take 1/2 the height, which is 14, times 20 plus 24. Now it does not matter which one you put in which order because they're adding together. So over here I did 30 plus 18, this time I did 20 plus 24. It's not a mistake, it's just that it doesn't matter which one you add to which. So it becomes 1/2 14 times 44. So let me figure that out real fast. 154 centimeters squared. These are squares. So technically squares are base times height, but if you know something about squares, that the base and the height are the same number. So essentially all we say for squares is it's side squared. It's just the side squared. So this one's going to be 9 squared, which is 81 meters squared. This one's just 11 squared, which is 121 meters, or kilometers squared. That's it. Squares are easy. Rectangles, they're just for base times height. They're pretty easy as well. So this is going to be 12 times 8, 96 feet squared. So it'll be 19 times 6, which equals 114 inches squared. That's it. Now the next one is called a rhombus. These are a little bit more difficult. Okay, I know they look like parallelograms and technically they could be measured the same. But for some reason, math likes to make things a little bit more challenging so that you understand all the properties. So, what we know about rhombuses is you could take the base times the height, that would still work. Or if you take half the first diagonal times the second diagonal, remember diagonals from corner to corner. If you take 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, it should give you the area. Now, what we know about diagonals are that they bisect each other, meaning they cut each other in half. So I give you half the diagonal, you have to figure out the other half by saying, okay, if it cuts it in half, that means the other half has to be the same. So that would be 9 feet on that side, 11 feet on this side. The whole thing should add up, give you 18. This one will add up to give you 22. So all you have to do is 1/2 22 times 18. If you do that, you get 396 feet squared. Same thing over here. This side will be 8, this side will be 14. So this will be 16, this will be 28. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the last one might not have been what I thought it was. Sorry, this should be 198. Forgot to do the 1/2. I do apologize. Alright. So the next one should be 28, 1/2, 28 times 16. And that should give you 224 centimeters squared. There you go. That is how you find the area of all the shapes that we've done.